Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast. Podcast.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Motocross Supercross podcast.
Episode 169. This is a preview of the Round 6 Supercross race in Minneapolis this weekend. I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
Yo,
what's up?
Dude. Okay, so on our last podcast, we closed out West Coast series for the 250 riders.
Yep.
We closed out baseball stadiums.
Yep. No more baseball stadiums.
We closed out probably the majority, mud races.
No, we did. This is definitely not the end of the mud races.
No,
I believe we can have another one.
Hold up. With lime on them.
If you thought the lime talk was over, it's not. They're going to be talking about it this weekend on the broadcast. You know it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be mentioned a couple of times, but I don't think they want to drag it as much as we have. It's still a controversy in social networks. There's still a lot of people talking about it. There's still a lot of people that are damaged or hurt by it. And we saw Ken Roczen finally put in some laps in yesterday.
Yep.
We saw guys still trying to clean off, I guess, the quote-unquote the rust from the lime. There's still a little bit of talk about it, but we're not here to talk about it anymore. We're here to talk about this new 250 East Coast that was about to open. We're here to talk about Minneapolis coming in. And this is like a brand new championship, dude.
It is. It's like a new beginning for all these 250 riders. This 250 East Coast is starting up. We talked about some of the riders in our last episode who are going to be competing, and we are just going to dive in a little bit more with that today. And we are going to talk a lot about this Minneapolis race because there's a lot to talk about, especially with what happened last year. And that's kind of where I want to start.
Okay.
So even though it is an indoor track, the weather at this race seems to play a little factor in this race. So first of all, it is going to be extremely cold, a high of 10 degrees on Saturday. So extremely cold, low of 5 degrees. That's not even factoring in the wind chill. There's a 9-mile-an-hour wind blowing, so that could factor in with the temperature and everything there too. But last year, if you remember, there was a complete blizzard happening during this race.
Yep.
Although the race was inside, a lot of the pits were outside, and Kyle Peters, who was racing for the JGR team, actually tore his ACL and his MCL in his left knee when he slipped on the ice after qualifying.
Yeah,
so he wasn't even on the track, and he tore his ACL and MCL. So the conditions have played a factor in this race before.
Yep.
The extreme cold weather. Yeah, so just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, never forget.
Never forget, and watch yourselves out there. Be safe. We talked to Paulie after this race last year, and he said he just stayed inside the whole time. He just took all his stuff in. He didn't even go out to the pits.
Yeah, I do remember that. He said that he stayed in the stadium the whole time. And why wouldn't you? It's going to be snowing. We're already seeing some pictures of people that are there already. Well, last year, we have that as proof. It's Minnesota. What are you going to expect? It's Minneapolis.
That's right. Minneapolis it is. So we got the weather in there. Let's talk a little bit about this track. So last year, this race was actually round 14, and it happened in April, and that's when all that happened. And this year, they moved it to round 6, our first East Coast round, and it was a Triple Crown last year, too. So it is a lot different this year. They put it way earlier, and the track looks pretty awesome. It almost looks like an arena cross track on steroids, just kind of the layout of it. It's just like a really basic kind of Supercross layout. Nothing too crazy, but it looks fun, and it looks cool. Everyone's just happy to be indoors again.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're going to be in the Dome, facing a great track. Again, utilizing the whole stadium or the majority, the maximum capacity you're going to be able to use. There's some good lines. There's some good rhythms. We have a whoop section.
A very long start.
Yeah, very long start. Very, I want to say, open turn that it's only going to be used in the start.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they do only use the start one time, so that's going to stay in pretty good condition the whole night, and then they'll actually jump over it whenever they come around that next lap. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of unique.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all plays out with everything.
Yeah, I see they have the little hump again in the inside. I wonder if it's going to be utilized to kind of jump into that single. And
then, little option right there.
Yeah, or just or I wonder if they're going to be able to double from that little back section into the rhythm section. It's going to be interesting. I'm ready for for practice. Yeah, and speaking of practice, I'm really excited about that because it's early, bro. It's going to be early. You know, I don't even know what to do with my day anymore. Yeah. We have qualifying at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Then the night show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Brought to you by NBC Sports or NBC Sports Gold.
That's right. So we are a little bit earlier. See, I'm the opposite of you. I didn't know what to do with my days when it started so late. But now I have something to fill my day up.
Well, the thing is like, okay, so it starts at 8. We'll be done by like 10, 11. And then you're like, oh, okay. Before, you're like, oh, we have all day, blah, 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 blah. You get everything done. And then at 10 p.m., you're like, okay, let's sit down and watch some Supercross. And then you go to bed. But now after Supercross, you can go out. You know, you can watch it again if you want. Listen to the podcast. So many things. Go to our Instagram and check on the latest videos at the MXSX podcast. So many things.
Yep. You can watch that on our Instagram or our Facebook. So tune into those.
Yep.
And let's get into some of the results that we had last year at this race.
Okay.
Because sometimes that'll give us an idea of who's been running good at this stadium before. So last year, we had Jeremy Martin win this race. He's out with his back injury. Zach Osborne got second. He is out with his injuries. Even though he's in 450s, he's still going to be out this week. And Jordan Smith, he got third place last year at this race. So maybe we'll see a good season for Jordan Smith. We had Sean Cantrell, who's doing the West Coast. He got fourth. Anthony Rodriguez, who did the MXGPs, and he finished well last year here. He is fifth. Another one of your Venezuelan homies there. Joshua Osby, who was on that new CTR Club Traders MX team, who looked really good. He had great starts last season, too. I think he's going to be running up front for sure this season.
Yeah.
Brandon Hartranft, John Shore, Thomas Ramette from France. Austin Faulkner had a terrible race last year. He got 1st, 10th, and 19th in the Triple Crown.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we can't really compare this year to last year's just because of that reason right there. Because it's a Triple Crown, plus a lot of the riders that were there last year are not there this year. We only have 4 returning riders that have won main events on this East Coast. And none of the riders are on this East Coast have actually won a championship. So we're going to have a new number 1.
That is correct. And also we're going to have Alex Martin back this year. He only raced 3 Supercross races last year and pretty much did awful in every single one. He was running the West Coast. So in the first Anaheim race last year, he got 21st place. And then in Oakland, he got 5th place. And then in San Diego, he got 22nd place. So terrible Supercross season for him last year. So I'm very excited to see what he can do this year with the new team and kind of having just a fresh start for him too on this East Coast.
Yep.
Someone to definitely keep your eye on there. Also, Blake Wharton, he's on the Ty Lube Honda team. I'm not sure if he'll be doing this East Coast, but I'm pretty sure. I think he is doing the East Coast races. So,
I think he is. I think he was doing some of the Nitro Arena Cross, I want to say.
Yeah, or the Kicker Arena Cross.
Yeah.
There's so many Arena Cross ones now, but definitely someone to keep your eye on if he's out there.
Yeah, he is going to contend for the 250 East Coast series. So, yeah, he came back last year for a couple of races. Then he got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. He was with that IB Corps team, and then he got hurt. I think it was like the race that he came back or the race after, and he didn't really get the results he was looking for. But yeah, definitely another contender. You know, someone that is known in the sport, someone that's got really good results, and he's back, I think, for more. You mentioned Anthony Rodriguez. In our last podcast, we mentioned Lorenzo Locurzio, Remy Alves.
And also, we're going to have Christian Craig and Chase Sexton, the Geico Honda riders. Christian Craig, he got hurt before the season this year, but he has had some really good results, and he's definitely proven to be a top rider. So if he comes in healthy and he can stay healthy, he'll definitely be contending for this championship.
Yeah, I stand by what I said in our last podcast. I feel like the Geico Honda team has probably the best 250 class, East Coast class riders. They definitely have good contenders. Both of them are good. Like you mentioned, we've seen them have very good results, and either one of those guys could be your champion for this year.
Okay, all right, I like that. I think also the Austin Faulkner, we haven't seen Martin Davalos on race in a long time, so Also another rider with that factory, Kawasaki, who might be able to step up as well.
Yeah, we say that every time.
Yeah, we do. And yeah, so that's the 250s. What do you say we jump over to the 450s and talk a little bit about that? Because they are still running strong. Round 6 for them coming into this Minneapolis race. We got Eli Tomac, who finally won a race this year. We've had Cooper Webb, who won 2 races. Blake Baggett, Justin Barcia, Ken Roxon, who hasn't won a race yet, but he was Red Plate Roxon for the whole beginning of the season. Or not the whole beginning.
Yeah,
we did have Red Plate Roxon for 3 rounds, so you never know if he's going to get his win this weekend.
Yeah, we're back to what we were last year, like around this time of year. We have Eli Tomac and Marvin Muskin on top of the point standings.
Yep. And Ken Roxon, he's tied for second with Marvin.
Yeah,
both have 102 points. So it's Tomac, Muskin, and Roxon, the 3 heavy hitters right there, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and only 4 points separate these guys. We have Cooper Webb, who had a very bad weekend in San Diego, dropped all the way down to 4th after having that red plate and going back to back. This class right here is still awesome. There's still plenty of room to make mistakes. There's still plenty of room for new winners, and I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, we also have Dean Wilson, who's sitting in 6th place or 5th place. He's tied for 5th place in the points.
Yep.
With Blake Baggett, and he put out a blog video, or a vlog, I should say, the video log of what went down in San Diego, and it's a pretty good one. It's a good one to watch because he kind of has the whole day on there. One of the epic shots is it's just pouring down rain, absolutely monsooning, and there's one guy just with his little poncho on getting an autograph, just braving it. So it was pretty cool, and he just kind of got into the whole rock star thing and kind of showed his night and how he stalled the bike 4 times in the main event and fell in the first corner, and how he crashed the first lap of practice and got just completely covered in mud and water, and it was pretty cool. He just had a good attitude happening that last weekend, so sucks that he did so bad, but if he carries that into this week, we could see like Dean Wilson from the first race of the season where he led so many laps. So let's also not count Dean Wilson out of this yet.
No, especially going into the Husqvarna rig this weekend and for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Someone that's not going to be there with him, though, it's going to be Zach Osborne, who we thought he was going to come back for this race, but ended up not making it, I guess. Yeah, his start has been delayed, and his 450 debut is still up in the air. Rumors said he's hoping to be back for Arlington, so we'll see what they can come up with. Another rider who's not going to be with us this weekend is Justin Hill, who we talked about in our last podcast how he bruised his ribs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he bruised his ribs. Everyone feared that it might be broken, not broken. They thought he might have ruptured his spleen or punctured his spleen or something. That ended up not being the case. Yeah, so I thought maybe that he would be back since nothing was broken, but you're telling me he won't be back?
No, he won't be lining up this weekend in Minneapolis due to the injury. And Justin's words right here, I spent the week so far in a lot of pain and have been very limited movement due to injuring my ribs at San Diego. It's hard to picture racing when every day thing are this painful. Fortunately for me, I have every rehabilitation resource I could have at my fingertips, and I'm itching to get back on the bike and get the results I know that I'm capable of. So I guess he won't be lining up. They don't really say anything much about his injury besides that. Very unfortunate because it was going to start to get that flow because this is where he got it. He got it on the East Coast when he started riding the 450.
Yep, so that definitely does suck for him. And good thing Chad Reed looks pretty good. So he'll be holding that team up this week with the JGR Suzuki team. So we'll have to see what Chad can do coming off his 5th place finish in the mud at San Diego. Still going strong, you could say.
Yeah.
Legend Chad Reed, my bad.
Yeah.
Another rider who has kind of surprised me with how good he hasn't done, that's Cole Seeley, sitting 10th in the points right now. So we've seen some flashes of potential, and we already know he's a good rider, but he obviously had that big injury last year, so he's coming back into it. So maybe this is a week that could be a breakout for him. He could have a maybe breakout performance and pull a top 5.
Very excited to see what he can do.
And same with Joey Savacci, rookie coming into this season. He's had so many problems. So each race, we're all waiting for him to kind of have a breakout run too after pulling the whole shot at the Monster Energy Cup and dominating there. So we'll have to see what he can do. And also Justin Barcia, who didn't even finish the race last week due to his bike breaking, cutting out and not being able to finish that race. So, he's going to be coming in with a little extra fire too this week.
Yeah, I definitely have to pick it up. He's sitting 7th in the points with 74 points.
Yeah, that's pretty good though for him. He had 2 DNFs when he hurt his tailbone and then when his bike didn't finish. So he's still sitting 7th in the points. So he's obviously doing something right, but definitely should be doing better.
Yeah, someone that came out swinging the first round in Anaheim won when it was muddy and won it, no problem. We were expecting a lot more from him, especially with the start that he had last year too. Just waiting for a little bit more from him, but yeah, this shaping up to be a great championship. Scott Champion also, as we know, he was racing the West Coast Series. He will be jumping on a 450 for 5 races, and that's kind of cool. He's going to be doing Dallas. He'll be doing Atlanta, Daytona, Nashville, and Houston.
He is one of the newest additions to that Rockwell Yamaha team. Is he going to be under that tent with this 450?
No, I don't think he's going to be doing with the Rockwell team. I think he picked up a little privateer help from a couple people. I want to say the main sponsor is going to be Partzilla, OEM Parts and Accessories.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be dealing with the Rockwell team.
Great. Well, is there anything else that we should add to this episode? Next episode, we're going to be doing our picks where we tell you who's going to be doing good at this race in Minneapolis. But is there anything else that we forgot to mention on this one?
Well, we got weather, we got schedule, we got track, we got
injuries,
we got the new riders, we got
past winners.
I think we got it all. Just make sure you guys follow us on Facebook and Instagram at MXSX Podcast.
That's right, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace!